Thanks for watching Bruins 360. I'm Emily Lewandowski. On Friday, October 18th, the men's soccer team hosted Columbia International University in their second-to-last home game of the season. Sports reporter Bethany Williams has the story.
The Bruins hosted the Columbia International University Rams for senior night on Friday. The Bruins dominated play and put increased pressure on the Rams' defense from the start. Travis Woodham scored in the 8th minute to give the Bruins a 1-0 lead in the first half. The Rams took several nice shots in return, but goalie Joe Wooster and the Bruins defense kept the Rams from scoring. Matt Moore placed 2 goals in net for the Bruins in the second half after several great shots by the Bruins offense. John Wilson scored with less than a minute left to give the Bruins a 4-0 win over the Rams. For Bruins 360, this is Bethany Williams.
Thanks, Bethany. After the game on Friday night, fans crowded into the Davis Fieldhouse for Fandemonium. Caitlin Unruh has a recap of the night's events.
What do you get when you combine screaming fans and a little bit of basketball? That's right, Fandemonium. Last Friday night, the Bruins basketball teams hosted a night of contests, scrimmages, and team introductions. This year's Fandemonium was a great way to kick off the upcoming season. Wishing the Bruins basketball teams good luck, I'm Caitlin Unruh for Bruins 360.
Thanks, Caitlin. As the weather gets cooler, the golf season is winding down for the Bruins. Johnny Gamet sat down with Coach Scott of the Bruins golf team to discuss the season. Johnny?
Thanks, Emily. I'm here with Dennis Scott, the coach of the Bruins golf team. And Coach Scott, thanks so much for taking the time to come on and be on Bruins 360 this week. Let's talk a little bit about just what got you into coaching. I mean, a lot of people don't know Dennis Scott. You haven't been here that long, haven't had the opportunity to meet you. Talk a little bit about your background and what got you interested in coaching, and then in particular, what got you interested in golf coaching.
Well, it really goes back to 1972, 73, somewhere around there, which is a long time ago. But I read a book, and I was in junior high school, called They Call Me Coach by John Wooden. And when I finished reading that book, even as a young teenager, I felt like that was what God was prompting me to do and to pursue with my life. And so it kind of goes back to just those early teenage years where I was fascinated by John Wooden and what he was accomplishing, and felt like the Lord was leading me in that direction.
What were some of the expectations that you explained to the guys in this first year? Again, you know, some of them having experience vaguely, others having limited competitive experience. What were some of your expectations that you gave to them?
Well, Ben Hogan once said, competitive golf is as different from recreational golf as tennis is from ice hockey. And so I told the guys that when you get into competitive golf, it's a whole different animal. And so I said my expectation or hope for this team is to break 320, and that was to try to have 4 guys in competition shoot 80 or better. And in the very first tournament we shot 326, and then a 322, and then all of a sudden a 310, and then a 307, and we're getting close to that 300 mark, which is kind of the magic mark to compete at the national collegiate level, and that is 300, where you get 4 guys shooting 75. And I think we're almost there, even in our very first season.
What do you think is going to be one of the highlights that stands out to you about this first season? You know, looking back 5, 6, 7 years from now, what's going to be that highlight for you?
Winning that tournament in Hiawassee Invitational was very special. I didn't expect to win a tournament the very first season. Expected to compete well, but it's just really special to win a tournament that's a multi-team tournament, 7 or 8 teams. But in that tournament, God taught us some things about ourselves in the week of preparation before that tournament. And I think God blessed that and honored that for the character lessons that we were trying to help the guys with. Just their testimony on the course, their mental focus, their spiritual preparation. And God gave one of our players a unique opportunity, even in winning that tournament, to share the gospel with one of his fellow competitors while they were just walking down the course. And those are really special memories for this first season that I'll really take a long time.
Going into next season, what are, you know, even as we're ending this season, going into the spring, what are some things that you've taken from this first season that you guys can build on as a team?
Well, our theme was a little bit on laying the foundation from 2 Corinthians chapter 3 there, and having the mind of Christ. Other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. And then having the mind of Christ from Philippians chapter 2, if that's our foundation. So I believe we've built a good foundation with a solid core of guys. We only have 6 guys on the team this year, but we really need to add depth to that, to really compete nationally and also to compete within our own team, to really make each other sharper and better and more competitive. We need to add depth. So we're praying that the Lord will bring us another 4 or 5 guys next season through the recruiting process in the off season to build depth into the program for the future.
All right, thanks so much, Coach, for taking the time to join us. You can find out more about the men's golf program by visiting bjubruins.com. Emily, back to you.
Coming up for the Bruins, on Friday, October 25th, both the men's and women's soccer teams will travel to Henderson, Tennessee to play Freed-Hardeman University. Then on Saturday, October 26th, both teams will be in Chattanooga, Tennessee to play Tennessee Temple University. On Thursday, October 24th at 7 p.m., the men's basketball team will host their first preseason game. So be sure to come to the Davis Fieldhouse to cheer for your Bruins basketball team. Check out our website, bjubruins.com, for game previews and recaps, our What's Bruin podcast, team schedules, and more. Thanks again for watching Bruins 360.